Good morning, it is July 6th, and today I'm going to Glasgow. I'm very excited for this portion of the trip. I have some really exciting things planned. We just gotta get there. If you're wondering how I slept, thank you. Last night, the fire alarm went off, and I was out cold. The alarm went off, and some sort of light in my room was flashing red. It was loud, and it was not even midnight. It was like 11:55. So I had only been sleeping for like an hour, but I was out cold. So I stumbled out, like everybody had to evacuate. The fire department came. There wasn't a fire, so I don't know what happened because it wasn't a drill. I suspect that somebody pulled it as a joke, or maybe someone was smoking in their room or something, and then the alarm went off. But yeah, I was able to fall back asleep after that and got some good rest, so I'm feeling pretty good this morning. I'm just finishing packing up my bag. Got a few things on the desk that I have to get rid of, and then my toiletries by the sink. But yeah, then after that, we're getting on the bus, we're getting on the train, we're getting on another bus, and heading to Glasgow. Walking down to the subway to get to my Airbnb. Okay, I have made it to my accommodation in Glasgow, and oh my goodness, let me just show you my room. It's a bit of a step up from the University of Edinburgh. Like, are you joking? Oh, are you joking? Oh my goodness. You guys don't know, but I just had so many technical difficulties with this fucking camera. So it seems to be working again. It wasn't for like an hour. But now we're gonna go out on the town and explore. I'm so excited. So let's freaking go. Okie dokie. I'm currently walking. Actually, I don't really know where I am. I decided to just listen to my Airbnb host and take her verbal instructions for how to get to the Kelvingrove Museum. And she was like, go down to the pathway in the woods and go across a bridge. And I think I see a bridge up ahead. Anyways, this is very beautiful. Woo! I found the bridge. I'm in the Kelvingrove Art Gallery and Museum right now, and it is quite the sight. it to George Square, but it's under construction. So, and it's raining and I did not wear my raincoat, so I feel like a goddamn tourist. Yeah, I took the subway to Buchanan Street and now I'm walking by George Square. Gonna see if I can find the Duke of Wellington statue, but I don't know where it is and if it's in the square or not. So yeah, we'll see. Found it. Look at how many pylons he has on his head. This is right outside the Gallery of Modern Art. I've decided to come into the Gallery of Modern Art. Subway back and I'm walking back to my accommodation because it's just simply raining too hard and I don't have a raincoat. Stupid mistake. But whatever. Okay, I'm nearly back, but I wanted to show you the street that my flat that I'm staying in is on, because the street is just so pretty. Like, are you joking? So pretty. Okay, I made it back. It is coming down out there. Okay, I had a lovely afternoon. Let's do a debrief in a moment. Okay, my first impressions of Glasgow are that I love it. I kind of want to move here. I've had quite the day. I am so proud of myself for the way that I have been using public transit. I've really just been relying on my GPS on my phone, Google Maps, which sometimes betrays me. Like this morning when I was trying to get to Edinburgh Waverley Station, it took me on like the most stupid route. It made me get off at a bus stop that was way too far away, and then I had to walk from like Talton Hill to get to Edinburgh Waverley Station. But whatever. I got here and that's all that matters. I also have been taking the subway around Glasgow, which I took a short video of. It's shaped like a perfect tube and it's really tiny. Like if you're over 6 feet tall, you're gonna have to crouch. You can't stand up fully in there. It's really small, but essentially it circles around the River Clyde and there's an inner circle and an outer circle, and it's a great way to get around the city because it's just a circle, so you can't really get lost. So that's been awesome, and I have my ticket here. I went into a couple of museums today, which was really cool. I didn't really think that I was a big museum person, but here we are. I think the weather definitely kind of motivated that. But yeah, going into the Kelvin Grove Museum was something that I really wanted to do, and I took a video of the back of it, which has the statue of Saint Mungo, which means so much to me because one of my all-time favorite books is called Young Mungo by Douglas Stewart, who's a Scottish author, and that book is actually set in Glasgow, and the main character Mungo is named after Saint Mungo. So coming here I was like, I have to see the statue of Saint Mungo. That was really cool. And then the Kelvin Grove Museum in and of itself was great. It's a lot smaller than the National Museum of Scotland in Edinburgh, so it was just a lot easier to like take in the information. Also, I wanted to amend something that I mentioned previously about Mary Queen of Scots. So I mentioned that she was imprisoned in the castle of Loch Leven, and initially I had said that was because she was Catholic. Look, I was just repeating what my tour guide told me. But upon reading more about her in the Kelvin Grove Museum, I learned that it was actually because she was accused of murdering her husband. So remember her husband who was murdered by her former ex-husband? Yeah, Mary Queen of Scots' enemies framed her for that, and that's why she was imprisoned into the castle of Loch Leven. So anyways, while in the Kelvin Grove Museum, I also got to listen to a live organ player, which was so cool. The way the sound just fills up the whole space is really, really something, so that was quite special. And then I popped into GOMA, the Gallery of Modern Art here in Glasgow, which was also really cool. I like seeing art that features work by the people who live in the country or the city. There was a really neat exhibition they had on where they were featuring artwork by people in the community, and it was artwork from people of all levels, and a lot of it was like community led, like done in groups. Some of it wasn't, some of it was. So that was a really cool, unique component of it. Yeah, I love that all the museums here are free. That's really, really great. They should be free because it makes learning more accessible. So yeah, I can't believe I'm in Glasgow. I'm so excited. And overall, Glasgow is also a lot less busy than in Edinburgh. I mean, on some of the main streets like Buchanan Street and like where Kelvin Grove was, those were a bit busier, but where I'm staying, beautiful, quiet. I've also seen so many people out running. I saw like 30 people out running. So yeah, I mean, why not? There's beautiful paths right there. Yeah, I will check in later. Okay, so I just had some dinner, got a veggie rice bowl, very filling. My body needed some vegetables after the mornings I've had with tatty scones. But I've made it to the Glasgow Botanical Gardens, and it is just really beautiful. So I think I should have brought my food here to eat because now the sun's out. But I'm just gonna walk through here for a little while, I think. I love a garden. I love learning about plants. So yeah, I'm just gonna enjoy this. Look at this bench. It's completely covered in yarn. That's so fun. This is such a beautiful place. I'm gonna go this way to the rose garden. Okay, I am back in my Airbnb. If you ever come to the UK, take it from me and don't jaywalk. Don't do it. Especially if you're coming from a country that drives on the right side of the road. In Scotland, they drive on the left side. And you're gonna think you know which way the cars are coming, but you won't know. You won't know. I was standing at a light leaving the Botanic Gardens, and the way the sun was shining, I couldn't really tell if the light had changed to indicate that I could cross the road. And I had been standing there for a while, so I was like, you know what? I think it changed and there's no cars coming. I'm just gonna go. So I take a step forward and look over my shoulder, and a car zooms around the corner and was literally like a few inches away from my body. That was so scary. And it was going so fast, the car. So like, oh my God, it could have been so bad. So just don't do it. Don't do it. I had to take some deep breaths after that one. But it's okay. Lesson learned. I will never, ever jaywalk ever, ever, ever again. I think I'm gonna lay in bed because my legs are very tired. Man. My dinner was good though. A rice bowl and one near-death experience later, here we are. Okay, I will talk to you later. Good morning. It's July 7th. It's a little after 8 a.m. And I'm sleepy. I can hear headed to Paisley, which is a town just outside of Glasgow. And the reason that I'm going there is because my grandma was born there and she grew up there. I think I mentioned earlier that my grandma's Scottish, and that's a large part of the reason why I wanted to come to Scotland. So yeah, I'm so excited to go and visit the town she grew up in and try and find the street that she lived on. And it'll just be crazy to like be in a place that she once was when she was a little girl. So I think it'll be really special. I made it to Paisley, and now we're gonna go and find where my grandma used to live. So I followed my Google Maps, and this is where it took me to where my grandma used to live. It's now a medical center. This is St. James Street, which is the street that my grandma grew up on. It's crazy to think that like my grandma, when she was like a little girl, was walking on the same street that I'm walking on. That is so special. My great-great-grandpa also ran a pub on St. James Street called The Commercial, but I don't think that it's around anymore. I googled it, couldn't find it, so I don't know where it used to be, and my grandma couldn't remember where it was. But I'm just gonna walk around and see what I can find, and I'll probably pop into a coffee shop at some point as well. I've found a church. I don't know which one this is, but it's quite pretty. So I've crossed the street. See, that's the building my grandma used to live. So I've stopped to sit down and sip some of my coffee. And I'm in this really beautiful park. Palm trees. It's just beautiful. There are a lot of pigeons. Paisley Abbey. This is Catholic church. I think I can go inside, but I'm not 100% sure. Maybe I'll go this way actually. So this is Paisley Abbey, and it's a Presbyterian church. I think in my previous clip I said it was a Catholic church, but it's Presbyterian, and parts of this church date back all the way to 1163, which is just wild when you think about it. It's closed. It is Monday, right? It's Monday. It's Monday. Well, that's too bad. Oh, this is cool. Whoa! This is really cool. Paisley Abbey was built here beside a ford on the White Cart Water in the 12th century, close to where the Celtic church of St. Mirren had once stood. I'm gonna see if I can go inside. The abbey was home to monks of the Order of Cluny for the first 400 years of its existence, and since the Reformation in 1560 has continued to serve as a place of worship for the people of Paisley. Interesting. So the abbey was in fact closed, but when I went in, despite all the signs saying it was closed, the door was open. So I went in there and I took some like videos and pictures, and then this guy was like, the abbey's closed. Oh, sorry. So I kind of got a very private look at it. Now I'm gonna go and try and find the school that my grandma used to go to. It's called the John Nielsen Institution. I need to pull out my Google Maps. So my GPS has me walking up this hill to get to the John Nielsen Institution. This better be the right way. It's a nice town, Paisley. It's way less touristy than Glasgow and Edinburgh. Ooh. Nice view. I'm pretty sure the John Nielsen Institution has been converted into flats. So I guess I'll find out when I get there. There are a lot of churches in Paisley. So if you're a church fiend, this might be the place for you. Aha! I have made it to the John Nielsen Institution. It's on Oakshaw Street. Wow. It says it's private, so I won't be getting too close. But it's very pretty. Okay, I'll take some pictures for my grandma, and then I will keep going. It's just so crazy, again, to think that my grandma went to school here. And if I look through the windows, I can see some books and things, so I don't think this was converted into flats. It definitely doesn't look like it. I don't know what it... Well, it says residents only, though, so maybe some parts of the building have been maintained, while other parts are for living. Cool. It's crazy to think that my grandma walked these cobblestoned paths. What's down here? I don't know. I think I'll probably just walk back the way that I came to avoid getting lost more than I already have. So cool. I'm not sure if it's because it's a Monday or if it's just the time of year, but quite a few things are closed here in Paisley. The Arts Museum is closed. There's some construction going on. Paisley Abbey is closed, even though I snuck inside. I think the Threadmill Museum is open. It's a beautiful day though. It's sunny, it's warm, I am sweating like a hog. So just down there is where St. James Street is, where my grandma used to live. So I imagine she would have had to walk up this massive hill and then continued walking up just to get to the John Nielsen Institution. That is quite the walk. Quite the walk for someone with such little legs. So I think this is the Threadmill Museum, but all the signs say Abbey Mill. So I don't know what the difference is. I might see if I can go inside and learn a bit more about it. cheese toasty from inside the thread mill. The museum was like a floor, and there were like 5 displays that you could look at with very limited information on them. So it's not really a museum, but whatever. I learned that the thread mill opened in the early 1800s by James Coates, and then when he retired it was taken over by his sons James Jr. and Peter, so that's why it's now called J&P Coates. There's a long history of like thread and knitting in Paisley, so I'm now making my way back to Paisley Gilmore Street. I'm gonna begin my journey back to Glasgow because I'm pretty exhausted. I have done a lot of walking today. I'll check in when I'm in Glasgow maybe? I don't know. I don't know when I'm gonna record next. I don't know how this vlog's gonna turn out. I have like an hour of footage. It's gonna take me 80 years to edit. So, I don't know. I don't know. Made it back to Paisley Gilmore Street Station. I've had a lovely time here. So, let's get my ticket and get back on the ScotRail. Whoopsie daisy. I am back in the west end of Glasgow. I'm exhausted. How many steps? 15,482? Yes. That's a lot of steps. What a fun day. I can't wait to send these pictures that I took to my grandparents, especially so that my grandma can see that I went to her town and went to where she used to live and go to school. In the meantime, I've got myself a scone. It's a plain scone, and I hope that that means it's actually plain and doesn't have sugar in it. Because, fun fact, I can't eat any sugar. My feet hurt. I'll probably roll them out. I have Achilles tendonitis, and every morning my Achilles has just been... it's had no reprieve for months. Buttering up my scone. Moment of truth. Is it sweet? It smells like it might be. It's like a little sweet, probably enough to make me feel sick later, so darn. That's too bad. I've decided to treat myself and get some oysters. I don't think I know how to eat oysters. Oh, thank you. Tabasco. I just put so much on by accident. Okay. So I just had my dinner and now I'm going for a little walk through Kelvin Grove Park. I had oysters and a salad, as you could see from my last clip. And the oysters that were advertised in the menu were from the Isle of Mull, apparently, which is one of the islands in Scotland. Fun fact, the Isle of Mull, on the Isle of Mull, there is a bay called Calgary Bay. And I'm from Calgary, Alberta, so I was like, that's so strange, what a coincidence. Turns out that that's how Calgary got its name, well, its colonial name. This guy, this Scottish man named James MacLeod, came to Calgary and was like, this is a beautiful place, I'm gonna call it Calgary because Calgary means, in Scottish Gaelic, it means beach of the meadow. And if you Google Calgary Bay, Isle of Mull, it looks nothing like Calgary, Alberta. So I don't know what James MacLeod was on, but anyways. I had oysters, look, I've had oysters before, albeit it's been a long time. First of all, my mouth isn't big enough to shuck an oyster down my gullet, okay? So that's problem numero uno. Second of all, I don't remember oysters being so mushy and slimy, so I don't think I'll be
doing that again. I also had a halloumi salad. Halloumi is a type of cheese that has a very high melting point, so you can grill it and it doesn't melt. Unfortunately, the salad had kind of a sweet dressing, which was not advertised on the menu in the description of that meal. Like I said previously, I can't eat sugar. It makes me feel ill, so thankfully the halloumi was pretty salty, so I'm hoping that that will kind of cancel it out. But it remains to be seen, so I'm going for a walk to see if I'm, one, full enough, two, whether I need to kind of eat something salty to cancel it out. Sounds fake, but that does work. It sounds like I'm being like, French fries will make me feel better, but actually that does tend to help, so.
Good morning. I'm whispering again because I don't want my Airbnb host to hear me talking to myself and think that I am crazy. I'm now sipping on some English breakfast tea. It's like ASMR. Today is my last day in Glasgow. I really like it here. It's a lot quieter than in Edinburgh, especially where I am. There's just a lot less tourists, which is a fun experience. In Edinburgh, when you're walking around and you're overhearing other people's conversations, you can hear all kinds of accents, like from all over the world, because there's just so many tourists walking around. But here, all you hear is the Glaswegian accent. It's been nice to get to experience kind of more of a quiet side of Scotland. I realized that I have not done a book update for you, and I feel like a fake reader. I feel like a fake, because I have barely read anything since I've been here. Honestly, I've just been so exhausted every time when I come back to my room in the evening. I read like 2 pages of my book and then I conk out. Last night I read a few more than 2 pages of Really Good Actually, and I do think that it's really funny and I do think I'm gonna enjoy it, but I don't know, I think being in Scotland, I kind of feel like reading something set in like a castle, you know, like what's that book, Poison Study. Did anybody ever read Poison Study? Like that's kind of the vibe I'm going for. Anyways, this book is about a newly divorced young woman, and maybe it's because I'm like in my like solo travel badass era, but I can't help but just be like, girl, your life will be better without him. I hope she stays single and finds like contentedness within being single. That's what I hope from this book. But this morning, I'm just gonna have a slow morning, sipping my tea, eating my toast, and reading some of my book. I also want to read some of my Robbie Burns book because I have not cracked this open yet either, and I'm in Scotland, so again, like, I need to do that.
So I just had a really lovely conversation with my Airbnb host, and she was like, hey Natasha, like how was your day yesterday in Paisley? And I was like, oh, it was awesome. Like I visited, you know, the street my grandma grew up on and the school she went to, and she was like, oh, that's nice. Like how long ago did she live there? And I was like, oh, it's been a long time, blah blah blah. And then she was like, yeah, I'm sure she you know, never wanted to go back when she left. And I was like, why would you say that? Like, what do you mean? And she was like, well, Paisley, it's the murder capital of Europe. What? It's the what now? The the place I walked through all day by myself yesterday is the murder capital of Europe? Why would you tell me that? Why would you tell me that? So naturally I Google it and I go to Reddit to find the real answers. And people are like, oh, it's not too bad. It's got some rough people, but like just avoid this street and this street. And they listed like the 2 streets that I was on. So yeah, it's a little bit spooky. I'm glad I didn't know that yesterday, because that would have terrified me. But I'm gonna get ready and get dressed. All my clothes stink. So sorry to the fellow train riders and subway riders if you have to sit next to me. I'm just a stinky girl, what can I say? But it's a beautiful day, and it's my last day in Glasgow. So I'm gonna go and look at some street art murals, and there's a couple other things that my host, where's my phone, suggested that I check out. So I'm gonna write them down so I don't forget. Oh yeah, here's my outfit. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I'm not a fashionable person. I don't think I have very good fashion sense, actually. I think I just like to dress comfortable. Anyways, nobody cares. So, I just ate a vegan sausage roll. It was really good. And now I'm in Waterstones.
Took a wrong turn and now I'm in an arcade. Hey, Macarena. So I'm on my way to Glasgow Green, which is a nice park. I'm just walking along the River Clyde to get there, which is a big river that runs through Glasgow, and different shipping boats and fishing boats come through here. Onwards I go. I need to pee. So I'm currently walking through a detour because the entrance to the Glasgow Green that I was going to go through is under construction. And it is the longest detour of my life. I don't know where I am. There's some more murals up ahead, so. I have made it to Glasgow Green, and it's very green. Going to see if I can find a washroom and then sit and enjoy. The washroom I seek is beyond this wall. It's under construction. So I basically just walked for like 40 minutes through that detour, and it spat me out, I don't know where. I'm just following the masses, and I'm hoping I'll stumble across a washroom, a coffee shop, something. Okay, I've peed, I have coffee, and I just walked up a huge hill. And I'm now at the Glasgow Cathedral. Right now, because there are tombstones. necropolis. It's a famous graveyard. It's extraordinary. So the Glasgow Cathedral was really beautiful. It was built in the year 1200, and if you go inside, you can go down into the crypts, which is like kind of the underground portion of the church, and you can actually see the tomb of St. Mungo. And I did record that. It's the tomb with like the blue and orange tapestry over top, so that's pretty cool. For an atheist, I've gone into a lot of churches this trip, but they're just really beautiful. Now I'm walking through the Glasgow necropolis, which is this very famous cemetery, and yeah, it's really quite something. It is so much larger than I thought. Like, I'm at the top of it and you can just walk all around, and yeah, it's huge. Alrighty, I have made it back to the street where my flat is on. I stumbled into a gift shop, so did some damage. I also might have gotten some cheese. So, is this? Yes. So that's gonna be yummy. I am back inside the flat, and it's cheese time. So I got myself some traditional Scottish oat cakes. I have been wanting to try these, so I hope that they are good. I got two kinds of cheese. One is just a traditional kind of brie, and the other is an aged cheddar from the Isle of Mull, where Calgary Bay is located. So let's do a live taste test. Let me just prepare my ingredients. Okay, I tried a bit of the oat cake, and it just quite literally tastes like oatmeal. This is the Isle of Mull aged cheddar. Cheers. That's hit the spot. I walked so much today. My Achilles heel. Oh my god. She needs to push through another week. This might not be updated fully, but 70,000 steps. Yesterday I walked more. Maybe I'm just losing energy. Ooh. This brie looks so good. I have this knife that I got from one of the coffee shops I went to. Because when you get a scone with butter, they give you a knife. Okay. Okay, here's the brie. I mean, you can't go wrong. Wow. Just checking in to also inform you that I made a purchase today. Now, some may say, is that an embroidered cow? Why, yes, it is. Some may say, Tash, that's really tacky. I say, embrace the tackiness, my guy. Embrace it. Are you joking? I love it. I love this hoodie. I love cows. I love Highland cows. You don't even understand. Very good purchases made. I'm all packed up, well, mostly packed up. Tomorrow I'm continuing my adventure, and
leaving Glasgow and this beautiful flat that I've been staying in. I've had such a lovely time in Glasgow. I think that this city has a lot of integrity to it, if that makes sense. Like, the people are very kind, and there are a lot of visual reminders to throw away your garbage, and like there seems to be a lot of efforts put in place to make the city greener. Seems like a very active city, at least where I'm staying specifically. There's tons of people out biking and running and walking. A lot of people are using the public transit system. And in every museum that I went into, there was some sort of reminder or statement, acknowledging Indigenous roots and acknowledging that a lot of the history that is depicted has, a lot of aspects of colonialism. And not that we need to like praise the bare minimum, but I don't know, it just seems like the city and the people of the city are on the right side of history, if that makes sense. Seems like a very cool, like right with it place to be. And I've seen and done a lot here while I was here, so I feel really good about that. Another thing about Glasgow is that the men here are quite good looking. Must be something in the Glaswegian water. Tomorrow will officially be 1 week since I left Canada, and I think that marks the longest I've ever been like on my own for, I think. Like completely on my own. But I don't really feel like I'm on my own. Like I'm still talking to people every day, and like, it's been really lovely to chat with my Airbnb host and stuff. But my trip is not over yet. Tomorrow, I'm continuing on, and I am going to a place that I am so excited about, and I'm wondering if you can guess what it is. Can you guess what it is? I'll give you a hint. I'm going to be experiencing the island life. So, I've got a big travel day that I'm a little bit nervous for, because up until now, like, I have been taking public transit this whole time. The only time that I Ubered was after I saw Dear Evan Hansen. Each time that I've taken public transit, I haven't been on like a super strict time commitment, except for when I did the Highland tour. I had to meet the tour guide and the tour bus at a specific time, but that was literally just getting on like one bus. Like tomorrow, I'm gonna have a couple different means of transportation, and I have ticketed times that I have to be on those different things. So I know that I can do it. I am capable. Yeah, I can't wait to be in my new location. So next time I talk to you, I'll be on the way, I suppose. So I will chat with you then, I guess.